Hey, what's up, guys? Alex Espinoza with the Ricky Henderson of YouTube. Make sure to use my affiliate link down below at lastdivebar.com for your next order. And it is Friday, December 27th, and I'm jumping on here to do an emergency Ricky report because earlier today, the A's announced that Dave Kaval will resign as president effective December 31st. So here in 4 days here. So pretty much Dave Kaval has resigned. That's it. Sandy Dean has taken over as the interim president. And wow, my initial reaction was holy shit. I mean, you can kind of see it coming. Kaval kind of faded away the past, year or two. But still, the fact that Kaval actually stepped down while the A's are still trying to get something done in Vegas, it's just kind of shocking news to see it coming in your inbox, So here's a look at the statement that the A's put out. As you can see, Kaval is going to be exploring other opportunities in California, and I'm assuming that doesn't mean sports because I think he kind of tarnished his reputation within the sports world. I'd be shocked if somebody brings him on for another project in California sports, but hey, you never know with business. So, it kind of comes as a shock because Kaval's been with Fisher for 14 years now. He was brought on in 2010 as the team president of the San Jose Earthquakes, the MLS team that Fisher also owns. And a few years later, they were able to build Avaya Stadium, which of course is now PayPal Park. It's a beautiful 18,000 seat stadium there in San Jose. And then in 2016, the A's brought him on. I thought they would, get some luck with him to build their new stadium there, but it didn't work out. So I'll kind of get into his tenure and his legacy, but also I kind of want to let people know that, up until the very end, Kaval was saying the same shit. I mean, I believe the last public appearance he made was on October 9th at the Drop the Trop implosion, the Tropicana implosion in Las Vegas that they were so proud of. A couple months ago, and Kaval spoke to somebody named Brian Berger with the Sports Business Radio Roadshow in Las Vegas, and Kaval was parroting the same old stuff. It was in front of a live audience, so Kaval probably gets some juice. He gets to drop his material on some new people. They talked about his book about how he went to all 30 stadiums in a summer or something like that. That's always like his kind of entry point or whatever. But then he was, they kind of got into some stuff about the negotiations with Oakland and Las Vegas. And I apologize in advance if you're tired of his voice and tired of this rhetoric, but he's basically saying the same old stuff. So, he started off, talking about Vegas and just saying how they ran out of time in Oakland.
I've interviewed a lot of presidents, owners, trying to get a venue deal done. Sure. With the city, unless you come in and you say, hey, I've got all the cash and I've got all the land, it is hard to get a deal done. Again, you got the deal done with the earthquakes, but it's hard to get deals done.
And we were looking to do a similar deal in Oakland. In the end, it didn't work out. I think all parties worked very hard to get there, but in many ways we ran out of time, and the league had some really strict deadlines that we had to hit. But we really appreciated our time in Oakland. Obviously, it's over 50 years. We just celebrated our last game there. We're going to continue to celebrate the history there, and we're going to be moving forward, obviously, here in Las Vegas with a really exciting new stadium after we spend a couple years in Sacramento in an interim basis. So the next couple years are going to be an exciting couple years for the A's. I think we're generating a lot of fan interest, especially here locally. And tonight, with the implosion of the Tropicana, we're going to have a great milestone event for us.
And then after that, he was saying, it's because the Coliseum was so bad, we couldn't have a revenue stream. But now, once we get to Vegas, we're going to be heavy hitters in free agency. So this is what he said.
Well, we're very fortunate to have both Billy Beane as our special advisor, obviously from Moneyball, the book, and the movie, and then David Forrest, who's just one of the best general managers in all of sports. So he and the team of people he's built have done an incredible job building young players and teams and these nucleus of talent. Because if you look around the league, you see A's players everywhere. You see Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, you see Sean Manaea, I think, who was pitching tonight. What we always had the challenge was we didn't have the financial wherewithal, the revenue base to keep those players on our own team. They always went to the Yankees or somewhere else. The exciting thing about this new stadium in Las Vegas is we're going to be able to sign those players to long-term contracts, and they're going to be able to play here for the Las Vegas A's. That is a big deal because we know how to develop talent. We have the actual secret sauce. We just have to put a business framework in place to keep those players here. And you add a couple of free agents to the mix on top of that. look out. I think it's going to be a product that people are going to want to see.
And last but not least, the thing that really grinded my gears the most is his claims about community. He tells Brian Berger that, Kaval tells Brian Berger that, community is everything.
The A's have always been involved in the community wherever they've been. You talked about you're already getting involved here in Las Vegas. I think sometimes that's lost on some sports organizations, getting involved in the community you're in. Again, you said you went around, you saw all the different teams, and you've been in sports for a long time. Maybe you could speak to the importance of being involved in the community that you're in.
I think that's everything. You want to have that strong connection. You want people to feel that it's genuine, that what you're doing is more than just a business. And I think we can do that. It starts with the youth sports. It also gets to like which organizations that we support beyond even youth sports, whether it's food insecurity or other workforce development or unionized labor is going to build our stadium. All these factors come into play in order for people to say, hey, they're going to walk the walk. And you can't do that with one big master stroke. It really is a bottoms up type of thing. And we're just starting that. We're just at the beginning of that journey. And we're excited to take all the necessary steps to get there.
Fuck off, Dave. I mean, after these last 8 years, I can't believe you're still saying that stuff, man. So, just off the top, I think it's an awful legacy that Kaval left. He left Oakland fans with broken hearts. He basically just destroyed this franchise. He gave them hope for a few years, turned heel, broke some hearts, and now he's just leaving before they even get to Sacramento. I mean, he's just saying, all right, well, my job here is done. I ruined this franchise. Off to the next. I mean, you could argue that he was just doing his job, being a parrot and a puppet for John Fisher, and I'm being harsh, but I would argue that I'm just doing my job, I'm just calling out how I see it, And, Fisher and the A's, they brought him on in November 2016, and in 2017 they made that huge splash with the Rooted in Oakland campaign, and everybody was eating it up. I was eating it up. The media, fans, it worked. I mean, it was kind of getting some juice, Even later in 2017, they came out and said, we're going to come out here and build this new stadium at the Peralta site at Lady College. I mean, check out this hype video from September 2017 that the A's put out.
The A's are proud to be rooted in Oakland. We want to build a ballpark bigger than baseball, a gathering place to bring our community together. With 9 world championships, a dynamic history, our fans deserve a new ballpark in Oakland. After hundreds of meetings, one-on-one with the community, and really understanding what people in the community want, we really felt that the best location for the A's new ballpark is the Peralta site, right in the heart of Oakland. The Peralta site, being in the heart of the city, is a great way to connect to the vibrancy of the city civic core. Next to BART, next to Lake Merritt, it's walkable to downtown. People can come from across the Bay Area and frequent Chinatown, East Lake, Jack London Square. It's all walkable. It's right in the middle of everything. It's really a great site for the city of Oakland. The Oakland A's are excited to enter a process with the community to evaluate the Peralta site as the future home of your ballpark for the Oakland A's.
But perhaps the first crack that this was fake that we found out was shortly afterwards. Peralta College was like, no, we didn't even talk to the A's about this. They didn't approve anything. They just went ahead and made this big declaration without clearing it with the powers that be. So that project just kind of was dead on arrival. And then kind of came some brief, the golden years or the gondola years. I don't know. In 2018 and 2019 is when the A's shifted their focus over towards Howard Terminal. They unveiled A's Access with the help of COO Chris Giles. 2018, 2019, there was a lot of mojo, a lot of momentum building with the A's. They had the Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, Semien was there. Chad Pinder, that whole core was there. They had something really cool building there. Of course, it all came burning down during the pandemic. And Kaval kind of turned heel after the pandemic. We kind of saw them shift their focus to Vegas in 2021. 2020, 2021, they were openly flirting. And for me, the moment that Kaval really turned heel was in May 2021 when he was at the Vegas Golden Knights playoff game. He sent out this video, said, "Wow, what an atmosphere," something like that. And this was happening concurrently, like in the fourth inning of a game, of an A's game in Oakland. So that was a moment where kind of Kaval turned two-faced and really kind of went to Shitsville here in Oakland. So, during this time, Kaval was very accessible to the media. I actually had him on the podcast a couple of times, and I actually even asked him about Sandy Dean back then in 2021. This is what he had to say.
And I'm curious, is Fisher's company Sansom Partners going to be heavily involved with the fundraising for this project? How involved is Sansom Partners with this?
Well, it's really the A's actually as an entity, in the same way we did it with the earthquakes in San Jose, that will be the horizontal developer of the project, which will handle all the infrastructure investment, which will take that on. And then, some of the vertical development, let's say there's a hotel, or let's say, there's a 500,000 square feet commercial office building like we built in San Jose. You might get another developer come in and say, "Hey, we'll do this with you, or we'll pay you for the land and we'll do the whole thing." It'll be a mix of that. It won't just be one entity, but right now there's always one horizontal or master developer who kind of takes the lead, negotiates the entitlements with the city, and then you bring on other partners. And a lot of them could be local based, people in Oakland who've had experience doing it. We've talked to a lot of these folks. I think they will be part of the plan eventually, but right now we're focused on just getting the key entitlements and seeing if it can get approved.
Okay, and I'm curious, where does Sandy Dean fit into all this? I know he's been kind of close with Fisher throughout the years. Where does Sandy Dean fit into this whole negotiation?
Well, like I said, I'm the one who's the lead negotiator on all aspects related to this project. And so as the president of the A's and also as the CEO of our real estate group, that is my role. And so I am the key person who interfaces not only with the city side, but also with the private capital and the Fisher family. And I've done that, for over 10 years. So that's the role I have. And it's one that has been effective in the past. We have projects that have been super successful and built out, and we're hopeful we have the same success here in Oakland.
Okay, yeah, because I saw he was, possibly part of these traveling parties, and I know he's heavily involved with the Mendocino Redwood Company, which has kind of been embroiled in controversy in Northern California for the past, couple of decades with environmental concerns with herbicides, leaving dead trees as potential tinder for wildfire. So I'm kind of curious, how can the public be assured that Fisher and Dean will have the Oakland's best interests in mind when, rather than Sansom's bottom line, if that's what it comes down to?
Well, I think it's important to remember that we've been here over 50 years, the A's. And we are a community asset. We care about this community. We are proposing a project that will provide community benefits at a level never seen in any city in the state of California. Remember, our community benefits package is twice the size of Google's in San Jose. And that was a project that was unanimously approved by the city council down there. So we are offering a lot. It's never enough. We know that. There are lots of things that need to be done, but people need to remember it's this or nothing.
Okay.
So there are other people involved who are trying to kill this project, the polluters down at the port, all this type of stuff. They have no positive vision to help the community, affordable housing, workforce development, nothing. So we have a plan. It's not perfect, but we think it's one that's been crafted with a lot of positive feedback from the community, with the city, with other key stakeholders like the port. And we're hopeful that it can get approved and actually implemented, because I think it will lead to better outcomes for the citizens of the city of Oakland.
So it's really interesting to hear the contrast, just kind of see the contrast of how everything changed over the past few years. But Kaval really kind of faded away the past couple of years. It's really kind of weird. He was part of the SB1 negotiations. He was talking in front of the Assembly and the Senate and stuff like that in Nevada last May and June of 2023. But then he kind of faded away once they got that thing. I think we heard in the background that he was part of the negotiations in Vegas, but he wasn't received well. He spoke at some construction conference earlier this year. He spoke in Sacramento earlier this year, but no, he just kind of faded, and I think I'm always just going to remember this tweet from late in right before the season started. He said, this is going to be a celebration of this final season in Oakland is going to be a celebration of our 50 plus years here. See you at the ballpark. I mean, They did not do anything besides give out a stadium replica, have some alumni come in on Sundays, to talk on TV. But And then he just fucking disappeared. I mean, he did not show his face one time. He's such a coward. And dude, his legacy is just absolutely tainted here, you know? So again, he's going to try to get some opportunities in California, but be absolutely shocked if it was sports. And as far as it comes to Dean, you can kind of see this transfer of power coming. For me, I think really stark date was on July 18th. This was a Las Vegas Stadium Authority meeting. And this was the meeting where the A's established their stadium events company, kind of like their arm to handle this whole negotiation in Las Vegas. And Sandy Dean was appointed the head of this thing. So Sandy Dean, of course, he's been part of Fisher's family investments since the 90s at least. They're all Stanford grads, Fisher, Sandy Dean, and Kaval. But yeah, Dean helped him start Sansom Partners. I think they make a bunch of money there. He was running the Mendocino Redwoods company, got into some trouble up there and stuff like that, like I mentioned in the interview with Kaval. But yes, I mean, he's been with the Fisher family for 30 plus years or whatever. So, but yeah, I think it was that meeting in July where Dean really took the reins over from Kaval, and you kind of see this transfer of power coming. So. I've been slacking. It's holidays. I'm in Mexico. Production times are slow, but I'm working on a December 5th breakdown of the most recent Las Vegas Stadium Authority meeting because, of course, they passed a non-relocation agreement, the draft development agreement. They passed the lease. They passed everything. Everything's in place except for the financing. And I thought this was an interesting bit from Dean about that. He said that we can maybe expect to see the payments coming in Q2, so second quarter of next year and spring of next year.
A third letter from Athletics Stadco LLC that lays out principally the conditions that come with both the construction term loan and the equity commitment. And I would just note that many of those conditions relate to kind of the completion of definitive documentation for financing that will really start being utilized in earnest in the second quarter sometime.
So I'll have a full report on that soon. Hopefully there were some little juicy nuggets that I want to talk about and stuff that happened. But so hopefully I'm really hoping to have a report on that coming up soon. But just optically, it doesn't look good when the team president leaves in the middle at this crucial point of the negotiation when they're about to supposedly fork over the money for this negotiation. You would think Kaval would, if this thing was going to be successful, he would want to be part of it and say, hey, I helped transfer the A's from Oakland to Vegas to Sacramento. I navigated us through this very turbulent time in our franchise's history, but now he's jumping ship. So. In general, just good riddance, Kaval, honestly, you can go fuck right off. I haven't said this publicly, but I actually got blackballed by the A's and MLB.com earlier this year because one of these YouTube videos, I called out one of their senior director of marketing executives, put a photo of him that I found from the A's marketing department, and I posted some information that was publicly available on his LinkedIn account. And the A's didn't like that. They said, some of our employees have been getting death threats. You're putting our employees in danger, something like that. And then after that, I was pulled from 8 different assignments from MLB.com, both A's games and Giants games, never got hired for another game again. And I'm guessing I will never be hired by MLB.com again. So they tried to blackball me, so I have no hard feelings at all towards Dave Kaval or anybody else who's associated at these higher levels. If they gotta leave, they gotta resign, they feel pressure that they're not gonna be hireable, I don't care. You guys mess with my livelihood for a little video, so feels good to get that off my chest. But it just feels good to know that Oakland fans made a difference, If we just sat idly by, Kaval can, maybe they even get the deal done, and Kaval kind of gets some credit for it. But, it got so bad that Kaval couldn't handle it. So, of course, I hope, he never got any death threats or anything. I really hope that his life was never in danger or anything like that. But beyond that, I really don't care, They mess with me. I don't really care about you guys anymore. You guys made it personal, so. Honestly, if anything, I feel emboldened by this news. I was thinking I might take my foot off the pedal. But no, I don't think so. I think I got to actually dig in deeper because we got to get after Fisher, dude. We got to sell the team, make him sell the team, I don't even care if Joe Lacob buys him when it comes back to Oakland. I just want Fisher to sell the team and be known as a failure forever. Even though he's going to pocket $1 billion like an asshole. But anyways, had to get that epic rant off my chest. I'm Alex Espinoza. Hope y'all had a great holidays. Happy New Year's. And we'll see. I mean, it takes a lot of time to do these videos, but I'm really going to try to pump out a couple more in the next few days because there's been so much info going on. So, all right, guys, take care and sell the team.